Hey folks, my name is David Faltzgraff, and I'm the founder and lead sound designer here at SundaySounds.com. We're really excited to be able to provide you with high-quality, song-specific main stage patches for today's most popular modern worship songs. Using our main stage patches, you can nail these songs live, even if you're not using backing tracks and you're the only keyboard player. The great thing about all our main stage patches is that you don't need any expensive third-party plugins or software. You just need MainStage 3 running on any modern Mac computer, and you can use these patches live. We've designed this patch at the original tempo and in the original key of the song, but there's a video tutorial on the product page that you can check out after you've purchased the patch if you need to do the song in a different key or at a different tempo than the original. To make things even easier for you, we've pre-mapped this patch to our Sunday Keys main stage template. So if you have Sunday Keys, you can just drag and drop this patch right into your concert, and it will be pre-mapped to the extra section. There's no setup work or mapping required. Just drag it in, and you're ready to play. Now I'm going to hand this over to Ryan, who's going to walk you through the various sections of the patch to teach you how to use it to nail this song live. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, Ryan from Sunday Sounds here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our song patch for So Will I. This is the version from the Hillsong Worship album, There Is More. If you're wanting to do the version from the Hillsong United album, we have a song patch available for that as well. You can find that over on our website. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to make a quick note that we use the mod wheel in this patch, and we're going to move this up and down to move in and out between different parts of the song. So as we move that mod wheel up and down, we're fading in and out different sounds, adjusting filter cutoffs and stuff like that. So if you don't have a mod wheel, well, that's okay. If you head over to our website, we have a video tutorial on our blog. It's going to show you how you can set up a knob or a fader and use that in place of the mod wheel, so you still have full functionality of this patch. So that means you can use either the fader or knobs on your keyboard, or if you don't have a fader or knob, you can always pick up something like a Korg Nano Control and use that with any MIDI controller, and that's going to give you the knobs and the faders, so you'll be all set. Alrighty. So this patch is in the key of D, and like David said in the intro, if you do need to transpose this to play in a different key or to change the tempo, well, just head over to the web page for the song, and you're going to find a video that's going to show you step by step on how to get that done. I'm going to go ahead and just go top to bottom through the song as the way it's arranged on the There's More album. We'll go ahead and look at the different parts of the song as we go through. Now to start off, I just want to give you a brief overview of the different sounds that are in this patch. So we've got a piano mapped in the lower range here, and then we're also going to use it in an upper octave range for the lead part of the song. Throughout the song, we're not going to really do too much chord work. It's generally going to be either single notes in the left hand or octaves. And then in the right hand, the only part we're really going to play is that lead line. Now, this song is a lot of pads, strings, some synth bass, and even a glockenspiel. And so the thing to note with this song is the lower the mod wheel, and the quieter and the more down the song is. As we build the mod wheel up, the song is going to get bigger. We're going to add in more and more instruments. So normally in our song patches, we start at 0. However, on this song patch, we're going to start around 50, 20, somewhere in that range. Don't want to start all the way at 0. The reason for this is because at 0, in the left-hand range here, we have just a piano and pad. And that's set with chord triggers. Now that only comes in at the very end of the song, so we don't need to go down to 0 until that point. I like to just stay about 50. Let's just talk about the chords really quick. So we have a G, so we're going to be just doing octaves, a B minor, an A D over F sharp, and then the root chord D. Now we're going to play the D in this range here rather than down here, because if you did need to transpose and you didn't have an 88 key keyboard, you could run out of notes. So just bear in mind that we're having our D is up here. The lowest we're going to hit in the left hand is that F sharp, that D over F sharp. We start the song off with a string intro. We're going to loop a 3-chord progression 2 times. So it's G, B minor, A. I'm going to go ahead and play that for you, and then we'll look at exactly what we're doing. And that sounds like this. And that is our intro. So for that, we've just got a string part and then a pad behind that. And we're just doing single notes here with the right hand, G, B minor, A. From the intro, we go into our first verse. It's going to be extremely similar to the intro. We're going to start off by just doing that same progression, G, B minor, A, with just the strings. We're going to play through that 3 times for our first verse. And then we're going to go to a G, D over F sharp, A. So I'll just play the last 2 chord sections here of that first verse. That's going to bring us into our first chorus. Now for that chorus, all we're going to do is add in the left end of the lower octave here in the left hand. I'm going to go ahead and play through that first chorus, and then we'll go back and look at what we're doing. That sounds like this. We'll actually end up repeating that chord progression one more time. So in the left hand, as I mentioned, we're just doing octaves. Make sure that you're playing your D here rather than down here. With the mod wheel about 50, we're just going to leave it, and we have a sub bass that comes in, some string parts, some pad parts. Now in the right hand, we're going to go and do that motif lead line. I'm going to play that a little bit slower for you so you can get a feel for how that goes. We're going to play that just repeating over all the chords except for the 3rd and 4th chord. So that A and then that D over F sharp. For the A and the D over F sharp, we're just going to alternate it a little bit. It sounds like this. Now in the right hand, we have a piano and then a glockenspiel that fades in at about 50%. So that should give you a good idea on how that fades in. From that chorus, we go into our first turnaround. It's going to start off with the same chord idea as that chorus, except we're going to drop the right hand and just play octaves in the left. Don't worry about moving the mod wheel. We'll leave it at about 50. We're going to play our D, B minor, A, D over F sharp. So far, the same as the chorus. And then that'll be our last chord in the turnaround. And then we're right back into our verse. For that second verse, we're going to play it essentially the same way that we did our first verse, but instead of doing just single notes in the left hand, we're going to do the full octave. I'll give you an idea of how that second verse would sound. So that's the idea for that second verse. From there, we go into our second chorus. This chorus is going to be essentially the same as our first chorus, but if you'd like, you can actually fade the mod wheel up a little bit throughout it, just to sort of build up the synth bass and some of the pads. It starts to make the song bigger. I'll just give you a quick idea of how that fade might sound. So I'm kind of jumping around tempo-wise. Sorry about that. I'm not playing locked into a metronome right now. I'm just kind of probably playing actually a little bit faster than the song actually goes so that this video is as short as possible. Anyways, from that second chorus, we go into our second turnaround. Same chord progression as the first one, except we're going to drop back sound-wise. And so all we have to do is get rid of the lower end of the octave in the left hand, go to single notes. Now you can just play through that chord progression, just single notes, or if you want, if you're a little more ambitious maybe, you can add in a few little flavor notes for the string part. I'll go ahead and just play through that second turnaround with the strings. I'm going to add in a few upper notes on some of the chords. Feel free to do that if you'd like to, or keep it simple and just do single notes. That second turnaround is going to sound like this. And then we go into we'll call it our third turnaround. It's going to be a G, B minor, A. We're going to stay with the strings there and play that chord progression twice. That's going to sound something like this. And then from there we go into our bridge. Now the bridge is going to be the exact same three chords, G, B minor, A. We're going to play 4 times through those chords, and that's going to be sort of a quieter part. And then we're going to do 4 times through, bigger. So when we hit that second 4 times, make sure that you're pushing the mod wheel up a little bit or just playing with more velocity on the keyboard. For the bridge, we are going to add in the lower end of that left hand octave right away for the first 4 times too. So I'll go ahead and play through there. I'm also going to play a little piano part that I'll start to fade in. That's totally optional. It's in the album, so it's up to you if you want to do that. Starting at about 50, that first part of the bridge is going to sound like this. And we're just going to keep playing that until we get to our instrumental. The instrumental is where, in the album, she starts to sing the woes. Same chord progression, same exact parts going on. So it's really almost an extended bridge. Now, from that instrumental, after we play through those chord progression, the G, B minor, A 2 times, we go into our third verse. We're going to drop down once again, just to strings. So you can leave the mod wheel where it's at, and just drop that lower end off the left octave. That verse 3 is going to sound the same as verse 1 and verse 2. It's going to sound like this. Now notice I am adding those top notes. So what I'm doing is, for the G chord, I'm just adding the D. For the B minor, I'm adding the F sharp. For the A, I'm adding an E on top. And then for the D over F sharp, I'm adding that F sharp as well. From there we go into our third chorus. Time to build back again. We're going to add in that lower end of the left hand octave. Now, we're going to play this third chorus. It's going to have 1 extra progression through the chords. So make sure, I like to do, after we play the chorus progression 1 time, kick that mod wheel up full, it's going to bring some of the sounds up even more, and then it's also going to bring in an ARP, so it really just drives the song. I'm going to play one time through the chorus progression, and then I'm going to show you what it sounds like with the mod wheel kicked up. And so that's going to sound like this. That should give you a pretty good idea on how that sounds. So with that kicked up, like I said, we have the sub bass, the ARP, and then we also have this glide lead that comes in. Now after we play through that progression a total of 3 times, we're going to tag just that chorus one more time. We're going to actually drop down though. So on that D, I like to just go ahead and drop the mod wheel down. Now this is to taste, so you can drop it all the way down if you want to just have piano and pad, or you can stay about 20 or so to have strings. I'll just show you what that last chord would sound like. Yeah, and so with that mod wheel down, we'll just pad and piano there. So that's all the sections of the song. It seems like a lot, but I just want you to bear in mind, so we're most of the time just staying at about 50. The more we push it up, the bigger that we build the song. So really, you can even leave it about 50 for the whole song until that final chorus. Give it that last push. And then at the very end, we're going to drop it down. In the left hand, our big parts are going to come in with the lower range of that octave. So if we ever need to go back to strings, no matter where we're at with the mod wheel, we can just drop that lower hand out. And we're back to our string part. In the right hand, one part I did forget to mention. So on that chorus, when I do kick it up, I like to go into a full octave on that lead line. And that's really all I've got for this song. So we are very excited for this new album. Make sure that you check back on the website. We're actually going to be doing some more patches for the songs once we get a chance to listen to them. So I hope that you add this patch to your sound library and that this tutorial has been helpful for you. We'll see you next time.